friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another weekly WW meal prep. I am so excited about the food that I am going to be preparing and eating for breakfast and lunch and snack this week. I'm going to be showing you my breakfast, my lunch, and then a sweet treat or something that you can either pair as part of your lunch or pair as a snack or even as a dessert. So if you want to see what is on my meal plan for the week and what I'm going to be showing you for breakfast, lunch, and snack, stay tuned. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take 1.5 cups of our strawberries and add them to a microwavable safe bowl. So we're gonna go ahead and add those. And then to that, I have a little over 2 teaspoons of chia seeds. We are gonna put this in the microwave until they are softened, and then we're gonna get them mashed up with a fork and set aside. Once your strawberries and chia seeds come out of the microwave, you're just going to take a fork and you're just gonna smash them up just until they become kind of pureed, and you mix in the chia seeds with all of your strawberries. And then we are just going to set these aside. If you have a potato masher, that might actually even be a little bit easier, but just make sure that you get your strawberries all nice and smashed up, and we'll set these aside and we'll finish the rest of our oats. So this is what your mashed mixture should look like. Just make sure that your chia seeds are nice and incorporated in with your strawberries. Next, we're going to be combining the rest of the ingredients for our overnight oats. So here I have about 2 1/4 cup of oats. The recipe makes 4 servings, and that is 2 cups of oats. So I actually want to make 5 servings, so I have enough for the entire week. So I did up the recipe by about 1 serving worth of all of our ingredients. So I also have 2 1/4 cups of almond milk. And then to that, we are going to be adding in just a hair over 1/4 cup of PB2. We're going to add in a little over 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so not very much. That just helps enhance the flavor of our oats. And then we want about 5 to 6 packets of sweetener, so that's about the equivalent that I have here of the Truvia. So we're going to add that. And then we have 2.5 tablespoons of chia seeds. I did just stick with the 2.5 tablespoons so that I can figure the points a little bit better. And then we're also going to add in about a little over a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then lastly, about 3/4 cup of our non-fat Greek yogurt. And then we're going to stir this all together until nice and combined. And then we'll be ready to start to assemble our overnight oats. But this smells super good. What's better than peanut butter and jelly and oatmeal actually for breakfast? So we'll get this all nice and stirred together. And then once we get our overnight oats done, I'll cook up some eggs and then I'll be able to show you my meal prep. But let's get this stirred and ready to go. Once you get your oat mixture nice and combined, you're going to alternate the oat mixture and the berries. So I'm going to start with about 1/4 cup of the oatmeal mixture in the bottom of my dish. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my strawberry and chia seed mixture to that. And then I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of the oat mixture. And then another little scoop of strawberries. And I'm going to do that until all 5 of my containers are full. And then I'll know exactly how much more or less I need to do in the rest of the containers. So this is what it's going to look like. And here are completed PB J Overnight Oats. So I'm going to pop a lid on these and we will throw these in the fridge, and they should be perfect to eat throughout the week. They smell really good, and between the Truvia and the strawberries, they should be nice and sweet. I'm going to pair this with some scrambled eggs as well as a piece of fruit. Since there is not much strawberries in here, I'm not going to go ahead and count that as a fruit, but I will insert a picture here at the end that shows you my completed breakfast with both the eggs and the fruit. But this looks so good, I cannot wait. So here's my breakfast for each day. So here is my overnight oats. I also have scrambled 2 eggs. You can see here that they're not quite all the way cooked through. That is a pro tip on scrambled eggs. If you are going to have to reheat them, make sure that you do not cook them all the way through so that they can finish the cooking process when you reheat them, and it avoids them becoming spongy. I do also add some non-fat Greek yogurt to my scrambled eggs as well, just to make them a little bit more fluffy. And then I'm going to be having 2 cuties. So this is going to be my breakfast for this upcoming week. For lunches this week, I'm going to be having turkey sausage cassoulette, but I'm substituting turkey sausage for chicken sausage because that's what I had on hand. But let me show you everything that's in my lunch. I am excited to have this. It sounds absolutely delicious and really, really filling. You're going to need some panko breadcrumbs, some type of cooking spray, cannellini beans, vegetable broth, salt, sage, thyme, pepper, butternut squash, your turkey or your chicken sausage, Parmesan cheese, a sweet potato, an onion, and some shallots. So let's get started on this week's lunch. So the first thing that we need to do is get everything chopped up. We're going to chop up our butternut squash, our chicken sausage, our sweet potato, our onion, and our shallots. We are going to do onions and shallots in the small bowl because they are cooked together. And then we are going to do our sausage in a separate bowl. And then we can put the onion, the sweet potato, and the butternut squash in an additional third bowl. So let's get everything chopped up so that we can start cooking our lunch. The original recipe calls for you to cook this in a stock pot, or I'm sorry, in a Dutch oven, but I do not have a large enough one. So I'm going to modify it just a little bit. I'm going to cook the majority of it here in my big stock pot, and then I'm going to move it to a 9x13 baking dish. So first thing we need to do is get started is take some olive oil cooking spray, spray it into the bottom of our stock pot, and we are going to saute down both our sliced onions and our shallots, and we want to cook those until they have begun to soften before we add in our sausage. Once your onions and shallots begin cooking, we're going to go ahead and add in our chopped up chicken sausage, and we're going to let that cook just until the sausage begins to brown. Next, we're going to be adding in our sweet potatoes and our cut up butternut squash. So we want to add all of that to our pan. And then to that, we are going to be adding in 1/2 of a cup of our vegetable broth. And then we're also going to add in our drained and rinsed cannellini beans. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and add in our sage. And again, this is to taste. And then we're also going to go ahead and add in some fresh thyme as well. And we're going to give this a stir and allow this to cook the rest of the way through before we move it into our 9x13 pan. We're going to let our mix cook down just until the squash and the sweet potatoes are barely cooked. So just even a little bit before al dente, before we move them into our 9x13 pan to go ahead and finish cooking in the oven. So next we need to assemble our Parmesan topping. For the topping on our mixture, we are going to mix together 1/2 of a cup of panko breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, and some black pepper. So we're just going to go ahead and add our breadcrumbs to our bowl, add our Parmesan cheese to our bowl, and then add our pepper. And we're just going to give this a good stir, and then this is going to be the topping that's going to go on top of our cassoulette before it goes into the oven. You're going to add your mixture to your 9 by 13 baking dish. Get it as spread out as evenly as possible. And then we are going to top it with our breadcrumb and Parmesan mixture. So we're just going to sprinkle that over the top. And then you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. We are going to cover our casserole, our cassoulet, and it is going to go in the oven for about 30 minutes covered. And then we will uncover it and allow it to cook another 10 to 15 minutes until our topping gets nice and golden brown. This is going to be lunch. It looks absolutely delicious. This whole pan is going to be a total of 5 servings. So I will let you know what the points are once it comes out of the oven and we get it all ready to go in our meal prep containers. The chicken sausage coulet just came out of the oven. Look at how delicious this looks. Nice and toasty, those breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna let this cool for just a few minutes. Show you the side here, look at that, yum. And then I'm going to divvy this out into 5 meal prep containers and I will show you exactly what I'm gonna be having for lunch each day. But this is a lot of food for only 5 days. So I'm really looking forward to having that nice flavor of sausage, sweet potatoes, and butternut squash. It's going to be amazing. So here are my completed lunches for the week. I have a total of 5 for all 5 days. So let me show you everything that is in my lunch meal prep. So this is 1/5 of the croulet. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. If I'm not, please let me know. But this is 1/5 of that. It fills the entire large side of my meal prep container. It is a total of 6 Smart Points. That is it for all of that. I tasted a little bit of the sweet potatoes and it is delicious. And then I have a little snack size bag of blueberries and of course one of my Detour lean muscle bites. A lot of you have been asking me where you can get those. They are linked in my Amazon store and that is down in the description box below. So this is going to be my lunch. It is going to be a total of 6 Smart Points for all of this deliciousness. So I am one happy girl about lunch this week. For a sweet treat this week, I'm going to be making dark chocolate zucchini bread with the Kodiak cake mix. I'm excited about this. It'll be a nice sweet treat to have, but it's also packed with protein, so it's not a frivolous sweet treat. So let me show you what is in our dark chocolate zucchini bread. You're going to need some almond milk or some sort of milk alternative, brown sugar, either Splenda, Truvia, whatever you have on hand that's an alternative to regular brown sugar. You're going to need the dark chocolate Kodiak cake mix, non-fat Greek yogurt, unsweetened applesauce, salt, baking powder, baking soda, espresso powder, vanilla extract, egg whites, zucchini, and Lily's or some other type of dark chocolate chip. Let's get this bread started. So to get started on our dark chocolate zucchini bread, we are going to be adding in 1/3 cup of our brown sugar alternative. The one that I am using is Truvia. We are also going to be adding in 1/4 cup of applesauce. This is going to replace any oil in the recipe. We are also going to add our 2 egg whites. And then we have 1/2 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. So we're gonna add that. And then lastly, we're gonna go ahead and add in our vanilla extracts. And then from there, we're gonna use our hand mixer and mix this until it is all fully combined together. So you wanna make sure that you give it a nice mix. Get your egg whites fluffed up and get everything nice and combined. Once you get all that nice and combined, we're gonna go ahead and add in our 2 cups of our Kodiak cake dark chocolate mix. We are going to add in 1 teaspoon of espresso powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and use just 1 packet of this espresso mix. I'm also going to be adding in just a little bit of salt. So the recipe calls for about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we'll get that in there. And then the last 2 things that we have to add are our leveling agents. So we have our baking soda, and that is 1/2 teaspoon. So we'll get 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and then 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're going to take our spoon here and we're going to get this nice and combined. You do not want to over mix it, of course. It should be fairly thick because you don't have a lot of liquid to the ratio of dry ingredients. So just get that nice and combined until it looks really thick, kind of like a cookie type of dough consistency. Once your batter is nice and combined and on the thick side, we are going to go ahead and add in 1/2 cup of almond milk, and then we're going to give that another good stir until our almond milk is nice and combined. And I don't know if you guys have ever used this dark chocolate Kodiak mix, but I love it because there are chunks of chocolate in there, and the peanut butter Kodiak mix has peanut butter chips in it. So yeah, it's pretty dang good. I definitely would say that. I do have the Kodiak mix linked down in my Amazon store as well, if you were interested in picking up some of that. So once you get your Kodiak mix nice and combined in with your milk, we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of shredded zucchini. This ended up being just shy of 1 whole zucchini. And then we're also going to add in 1/2 cup of Lily's chocolate chips. Now the recipe does say that the chocolate chips are optional, but I think the more chocolate, the better. So I'm going to go ahead and add them. They're really not going to increase the points value by much because Lily's is actually pretty darn low in points. So get your chocolate chips and your zucchini nice and combined together in your bowl. And then we are ready to put this into our bread pan and get it into the oven. Lastly, you're going to go ahead and add your mix to a greased loaf pan. Make sure you grease it very well, especially the bottom, so your loaf does not stick. This is going to go into the oven at 350 degrees until we can take a toothpick out and it comes out clean, typically 50 to 60 minutes. So I will be back in a flash to show you the completed dark chocolate zucchini bread. Here is the beautiful masterpiece right out of the oven. I'm going to allow it to cool for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to slice it and give you guys the smart points, but it smells really good in my house. Here's what I'm going to be taking for snacks this week, starting with my morning snack or my AM snack. For my morning snack, I'm going to be having a Built bar. I love these. As you know, these are the one thing that actually keeps me full between breakfast and lunch. There is a new promotion with Built Bar. It's very, very exciting. I actually have an entirely new discount code, so I will put that here on the screen, and then I will also link that down in the description box below. But it will save you 10% off of any order, no matter how much you order or how many times. So you can be a repeat customer and still receive 10% off of a full box and 10% off of a sample box. So that is amazing that they are willing to give us a sample box and a full box for 10% off no matter how many or how often we order. Right now, they are also adding 2 bars free to every full-size box. So instead of 16 bars, you will receive 18 bars. That is a phenomenal deal. And that special runs March 24th, which is Sunday, through the 27th, which is Wednesday. So make sure that you take advantage of that. I'm going to put that information down in the description box. 3 smart points, protein bar, tastes like a candy bar. Need I say more? Make sure you order yourself some Built Bars, especially with the 2 free extra bars in the full-size box. I'm also going to be having some of my roasted red pepper hummus with some vegetables. And then this week, I'm going to be taking some Light and Fit non-fat Greek yogurts, but I am going to top them with my Julian Bakery Pro granola. I am just going to put about a tablespoon of granola on top of my yogurt here, just to give it that nice crunch factor. So it will be 0 additional smart points. If you haven't already ordered the Julian granola, this stuff is amazing. You can have an entire half of a cup for only 2 smart points. I love the espresso cluster flavor. The vanilla cinnamon is really good. And I actually just ordered the vanilla and the peanut butter. So when they come in, I'll let you guys know how those are. But I'm obsessed with this granola. I love that I can sprinkle this on my yogurt for 0, or I can add an entire half of a cup 2 non-fat Greek yogurt for 2 smart points. The information for Julian Bakery is on the screen and as well as down in the description box below. So this is going to be my snacks for the week. Pro granola on top of yogurt, veggies and hummus, and of course my tried and true Built Bar. Thank you for joining me on another weekly WW meal prep. I hope that you enjoyed all of the recipes that I showed you guys today. Everything is delicious and I cannot wait for breakfast and lunch this week. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what is on your meal plan for the week and which one of these recipes you are dying to make. And of course, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.